Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Witch from Mercury. Today we got some comments, and the first one is from Yang Li Kwang, which I had to translate.
Oh, you went through it. Okay. Is
Yeah,
that
I cheated. I
is
was
that
like,
what you
how am I gonna do
said?
that?
Was that why you said 1 second? I gotta do something.
Exactly. Yes, I was off here pulling up a translator just to see like what will this turn
I
into, and it
wanted
is
to see you
Chinese.
struggle.
But they say, I guess Prospera is planning to digitize everyone into the cyber world because they cannot fight each other. Therefore, the world is at peace. Yeah, it's the human instrumentality plan. Everyone turns to orange juice.
The joke I made was it's the Gundam Digimon crossover that we all wanted.
Oh, hell yeah, no, give me that right now. Half of the Digimon are already mechs anyway, right?
Yeah, it's the 01 Digivolve too. Amuro Ray.
Suletta, Digivolve from, uh, anxious young girl to semi-confident young girl. Woo, let's go.
I mean, it's a joke, but some of these would work, you know. Ariel evolve to. Sorry, Digivolve to. Ariel rebuild.
Oh, there we go. No, that's the series we all need. Li Hongjun says, Theta, you do get most things right. Then Griff. Sorry for saying that, Griff. I don't mean to say this to hurt you or anything like that. It's okay. No offense taken. But you do have misses too, and I do understand that this isn't the only show you're watching, so at times things slip out, and I'm also an idiot at times, so I do understand. I'm going to try to help you guys out. Well, at least we can all be idiots together. I think we can agree on that.
Well, I had to hit them with the double whammy of you don't check comments, so
That's true. No, I wait until you'd bring them over to me. I have curated comments here.
I'm both editorial and the commenter. Sometimes I wonder why I even throw my own name in. You know, that's what I, Theta, think about things. Well, Griff is never going to throw in anything, so.
Hey, half the time people don't remember our names anyway, so. Speaking of, our next name up here, Joshua Shong says, Griff was right about the Elin 5 being affiliated with the Gundam Inc. In episode 10, Bjorn told Suletta that she hired Elin 5 because he has experience as a Gundam pilot, and it will benefit the company if there's another Gundam pilot available to serve as a tester for their new developed gun technology. Bjorn even told Suletta to not be involved in any of the duels with Elin since they are colleagues. In episode 13, you can see Elin 5 actually casually hanging out with the Earth House dorm to meet Sophie. During the scene, Choo Choo banters Elin 5 for talking so freely like he's one of the Earth House crew, in which Elin 5 responded, now that's Sting, aren't we co-workers? And proceeds to comment that they did not invite him to the plant trip either.
Yeah, no, I had to go back and rewatch episode 10 because I just didn't remember that at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it slipped in right during the emotional impact at the end of the episode because you know where Mjorn is basically telling Sula, "I don't need you as much anymore." You know, where the scene where she drops the two little doodads that one that she wanted to give Mjorn and one for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole emotional impact thing. So Mjorn just slips that in there casually, like right there at the end of it, and it's like I'm dealing with the emotional impact of the scene, so it totally missed me. That's why
Oh,
for
yeah.
two that's why for 2 episodes I was saying, what the fuck is going on? Why are they just hanging out?
It's definitely a fun thing to slip in. Like, you have a dramatic scene. It's like, we're done. We're through. I'll see you at work tomorrow.
No, it's more like, you know, and you never compliment me when I change my hair. I am through with you. By the way, Adolf's coming for dinner tomorrow, and that's the last I'm gonna hear about this conversation. It's like, well, God, I better do something about this hair issue. Wait, what was that other thing?
Well, it wouldn't be me if I focused on random details that didn't pop up for several episodes. So, speaking of random details that pop up every episode, we'd like to go ahead and give a shout out to Wolf Saints for all their comments and clarifications. There's a lot of them, and we couldn't really correlate them, but we see ya, we read them, and we're still probably going to keep being stupid, but thanks for trying to help. So, as for what happened last time on Witcher Mercury, what they wished for. Prospera explains that the Quiet Zero will use the Ariel's gun format to take control of the permanent link technology, but Mjorn is reluctant to inherit the project. At Asasasia, Suletta and the other students participate in the Battle Royale while Sarius bears witness. However, the event is interrupted by Noria and Sophie with their Gundams and an army of drones, knocking out one participant, killing another, and causing havoc among the guests. Nika tries to report them, but is still stopped by Grassley House, the attack being a distraction while they kidnap Sarius. Meanwhile, Belmora confronts Prospera and realizes that the Ariel is actually their first daughter, Eric, whose mind has been transferred into the Gundam as its control system. Prospera then asks for her assistance on Quiet Zero, intending to rewrite the world so Eric can be happy. But at Astasia, Eric takes control of the Ariel and shuts down Sophie's Gundam and drones. However, she refuses to back down and goes past her limits, killing herself in the process. Afterwards, Noria recovers Sophie's body while Earthhouse is detained for suspected terrorism. Suletta is troubled by Sophie's death, but Eric convinces her that she did the right thing.
Something occurs to me. That
What?
the synopsis are being written by people like us who
Yes,
may
yes.
or may not be injecting their own thoughts into what they write.
Just a little bit. It's a brand new Wikipedia article that's probably had like maybe a week for other people who are also really excited about the series to look at it.
Right. You remember at the very end of the episode we had the thought, is Airy in Ariel or is Airy in Quiet Zero and it's controlling Ariel from a distance?
No, I thought it was clear.
We literally had a conversation about a grip you can't take back, but it's already recorded.
Shrug.
I thought it was clear, despite what I've previously said on record.
After a week of not interacting with it, I realized, oh no, it just makes sense for one brain to be in one place.
Yeah, that doesn't change what I just said. Have I said the brain is in a different place? It's controlling something at a distance? Like a remote control. It doesn't change the fact that the brain is still only in one place.
That's all I got. I don't got anything on that one.
I mean,
we had fun last week. Now I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm the one that cares the most.
Sorry. But we do have more fun things looking forward here, such as Mjorn allying up with Prospera, and Mjorn still having to go back and interact with Suletta. Kind of hoping we're going to see some of that.
Before we start thinking about what's coming next episode, I know it makes sense to do it right after the recap, but
for sure.
I don't want to cross over with things that I've written down over the last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead. Tell us what's on your brain.
Yeah, the second installation of Theta's thoughts. This time, guaranteed, maybe, to not be as long as the last time.
Here, I'm gonna get out my popcorn here.
So yeah, if anything you had thoughts about previously doesn't come up in the Theta's thoughts, let's cover them as a post-recap thing for what do we think is going to happen this episode. But first off, this is one that you and I had a conversation about directly after the recording. Part of the feel of Season 2 is almost like World War I movies, where you have kids training at military academies, and they get hyped up on nationalism or whatever about what they're about to do, and instantly get shell-shocked at the real thing. The very first scenes of All Quiet on the Western Front come to mind, but generally anything also featuring nobility at school, then thrust into a wartime scenario. The duels often have that sense to them of something done for prestige and honor, trained to fight, and wholly unprepared for battle.
Yeah, no, I think that all makes sense.
Okay. Nothing to add? No other thoughts?
I think it'll be interesting to keep that in mind and then go back to the parents at some point to talk about, like, oh, yeah, we also end up deeply traumatized from doing these things, and that's why we did the school so that you'd be ready or something like that.
Right. Because I think pointedly 2 of the parents were former soldiers.
Yep.
Delling Rembrandt and Vim Jeturk both put out there that we fought on the front lines. Alright, when Sophie is in her last moments, her permanent connection in her skin is showing the same color as, sorry, I typed these out and apparently I typed them out in a hurry. So, sometimes my own shit is completely as illegible to me as it would be to anyone else. Her skin is showing the same color as Ariel and the Gundams that are being controlled by Ariel. At the same time, she says she can hear the voice calling out to her. Is it possible Quiet Zero can connect to anyone with permit in them?
Yeah, I think that actually also makes a lot of sense too, because the way Quiet Zero seems to operate is that it's going to connect to the gun format, and the permit stuff is people connecting to the gun format.
Right. It's like, I can't think of an analogy because I don't think anything exists like probably does. I'm probably just not good at this. I think the thing I was trying to get across here when I was writing this out is can Quiet Zero not only control Gundams, but can it control people? Like if Sophie wasn't in the suit, the fact that she has permit in her, say she was just walking around Anastasia, could Quiet Zero control her?
I think you got to be actively doing something with a Gundam in order to have a permit score active. We haven't seen anyone walking around with the lines on them and not doing something with a piece of technology.
Right, but we also haven't seen how they connect to the Gundam to make it work either.
Sit in the chair, I guess, too. Yeah, no, that's also a little weird.
Because if you remember back to the prologue when we saw that one person who had like invisible skin and their entire innards were just machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's how some of these people are on the insides, it's entirely possible they can just activate permit scores on their own.
It's possible. We just gotta wait to see it happen then.
Because if they have enhanced reflexes and everything like that, what's to say they don't have enhanced reflexes outside of the Gundam?
You know, we did see Sophie do a whole ninja dive into a dropkick.
Yeah. Episode 11, I think that was.
Maybe it's so.
Alright. Next thought. Does Suletta have a dad? Is it possible that Mjorn and Suletta are related?
We saw Suletta's dad and they died in the prologue.
Now you are forgetting facts, Griff.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Eric's dad. My bad.
Suletta was born 5 years after that man died. You know where Prospero was the majority of the time that Suletta was growing up?
Mercury.
Earth.
Oh,
Pointedly, Cradle Planet says that she is basically never at Mercury. Now, we also know that she spent a lot of time with Delling Rembrandt, setting up this whole Quiet Zero nonsense. So, is it possible Suletta and Mjorn have the same father?
Absolutely not. This would be the most hateful sex ever. Like, you killed everyone I cared about and destroyed my project, and the other one just going, well, you're an abomination and everything about you defies what war should really be about, and then they kiss and make up.
Well,
I don't see it.
Literally doesn't have to be sex. It could be, in vitro fertilization or whatever. Could be cloning. Who the hell knows? All we know is original dad.
No, I also deny that. Prospera fucks. There's no other way.
Not just throwing it out there. Who is Suletta's dad? I mean, we also have bodyguard dude who's always around.
It's bodyguard dude. Bodyguard dude is the father.
I'm just throwing out there. It's a question, and it's not been definitively answered. Who is Suletta's dad? We get rest in peace. Rest in peace. But we have a very Jerry Springer moment here.
I think we spent so much of the first season uh, with the show trying to present the assumption that Suletta is Ariel from the beginning, right? That they didn't
Suletta is
want to
Ariel.
answer that. Suletta was Eric because they wanted it to be the surprise. They wanted to say like, "Oh yeah, no, this is totally the same person." So they didn't want to fill in that information because if they did, it would pop the surprise because the question would be like, "Wait a second, did we see the dad die?" Now we have the potential for maybe for them to answer it, but now the question becomes, is it an important answer?
It is if Delling Rembrandt is her dad. Literally, that becomes an important. If they're related, it's important to know.
Just two sisters making out changes the context of everything. Thank you.
Just keep that in the back of your mind every time you think of a romance scene. Also, possibly keep in the back of your mind that one of them is 16. So, maybe don't go too hard into your fantasies, Griff.
So, we got more wholesome thoughts?
Episode 14, they mentioned Mjorn hasn't tried to escape yet. That's because in episode 13, Prospera mentions that she's being questioned as a person of interest, and basically that everybody on the station is being held there.
Yeah, no, they cover that as a detail. That's why Mjorn hasn't gone back to Suletta, and she has lots of time to stew about her feelings and everything.
Well, just specifically an explanation of why they said hasn't tried to escape, because other than these indications, there's been no point. There had no point been something saying, "Hey, I'm stuck here."
Mm-hmm.
Sophie's short little story is just so sad. So much child in her character, despite being thrust into this very adult situation, like a dark mirror to Suletta.
It's like Suletta if she was even happier at the murder.
Oh no, I mean, think about it. Where does Sophie live?
Earth.
Where on Earth?
I don't know.
In a school. In a broken down, destroyed school.
Mm-hmm.
We see that in, I don't know, episode 10, I think it was? Yeah, it was episode 10.
Yeah.
I literally just said I rewatched it recently.
The briefest look at Earth life and then just nothing more.
Yeah, so she lives in a school. What's the one place that Suletta never went to until the start of the show?
School. I always wanted to go live at school. Oh boy, Sophie's living the life, huh?
Right. So Suletta starts her life off in a place with no school, dreams of starting one there, goes to school. Sophie starts her life off in school. When does her life end?
At school again.
There we go. It's like a dark mirror of Suletta, right? Suletta has a family. She has a mom. What does Sophie not have?
There we go.
They're the opposites. They're literal opposites.
But you see the giraffe, which represented the mom, fell off the bed during the whole episode.
Alright. Noria has only really showed emotion twice. She showed disbelief shock when Ariel fired the massive bee in episode 12. But the thing that I love, her most expressive scene where she sees it, her eyes go a little wider, and was visibly in tears at Sophie's death while showing revulsion at Suletta's perceived immunity to the Gundam curse.
I would say she's shown more emotion than that. The highlight scene I would probably say would be when she's interacting with Ellen 5 and she bumps into him to steal the phone. She's drawing on her notepad and she's talking about it's like, oh yeah, you have such a nice school, it's filled with such nice people and everything, and she's drawing skulls and snakes to represent what she really thinks about them, and then ends off with like, oh, it all makes me sick.
Yeah, but my point was that she's deadpan when she's doing the scene that you're talking about, in that kind of way that you was like a Mean Girls movie. Like, I care so little about what's happening around me that my insults have the same tone as my compliments.
Right, maybe she isn't showing it so much, but it's clear that she does have those emotions. We just watched a whole series of Mob Psycho about a person not expressing themselves enough.
Right. But the point of my comment was her showing emotion, not her not having any. Those are the two scenes where she shows emotion, showing the things that she cares about. One, staying alive, and two, her friend Sophie. Or I guess her revulsion at Suletta. Depends on how you take that scene. Like, she's not actively crying, but there's literal teardrops kind of floating away from her eyes as she's doing it.
Yeah, what emotion do you show to the murderer of your best friend?
Well,
Yeah,
like I
that's
said,
a complicated one.
that was the tears thing. Like I said, there wasn't an inflection or anything when she said the words, but the tears flowing away kind of says that. The inflection in her voice comes when she's talking about Suletta, specifically how you don't seem to suffer from the Gundam curse that I've literally just told you will kill me as well.
Gotcha. You got any more Theta thoughts there?
Yes, I got plenty.
Keep going.
Correction from last time. You've literally already said this out loud, so you beat me to it. Literally seconds before I said it. Noria bumped into Elin in episode 13. They have a conversation, but when Noria walks away, Elin reaches for his pocket and says, "Huh?" So she clearly pickpocketed him and returned the pad to him in episode 14, where his indifference to it just made me think he had given it to her.
Right, it seemed like there was a deeper conspiracy to it, and it seems more like Elin figured it out, confronted them, and they came to an accord together.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that invisible scene happened. I would just say more that Elin was confused, then didn't care, and then found it entertaining. Because that seems well into Elin 5's, ballpark of emotion.
Elin 5, you almost squished them? Hell yeah, show me the pictures.
Well, I mean, he likes to fuck with people, so the fact that they stole his thing to do this, and it all just kind of ended up this way, yeah, alright.
In the scene where they bump into each other, and she ends with, like, it all makes me sick, Elin says, like, oh, we're gonna get along great. I feel like they are, in fact, going to have a longer relationship after this. Of some kind. I think it'll be interesting.
I doubt it because you know how the way Elin 4 had you have one or two more times of using permit score before you die. Well, Sophie just died, and Noria said I'm gonna die to this too at some point. And we don't know how many more times she's got left in her. So I don't know, long friends.
Well, we'll see.
Alright. At some point, is there going to be a climax where Suletta's run in Gain 1, move forward in Gain 2 is going to be used against her? Like, she has to choose between running away to save Mjorn or fighting a battle to protect things she doesn't care about.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like, the more you see it, the more you see her, like, spreading her philosophy around, and the way that it's the tool that Prospera uses to get her to go forward and do the things that she needs to get done. Eventually, it's going to come to a choice between Prospera or Mjorn, and that will, of course, force Suletta to do a change.
This follows on a conversation that we had before about Prospera being the anti-therapist, reverse therapist?
Yeah, the reverse therapist. Using all the tools of psychology to force people to keep their trauma and just hide it away. And then weaponize it against them.
Or, wrapping everything that they want up in a tiny little repeatable phrase that you can then spread around to everyone else around you that ends up with the things that she wants to be accomplished being accomplished. Alright. Prospera is hiding Quiet Zero from the rest of the Bennett group, but is there a chance that Sarius knew about it from when he was in charge? Otherwise, what was Shadik's plan for the whole terrorism plot if Ariel never showed up?
It's got to have started after the swap. It's got to have started, because I don't think Sarius is involved in that plot at all. I feel like he's going to be the person where it's just like, well, nobody told me about that, It's like, no, wait, I knew I couldn't trust Delling.
Right. So if Sarius didn't know, that means that Shadik off the bat wouldn't have known from Sarius.
Mhm.
So, what was his plan if Ariel never showed up with all of his terrorism shit?
I think he just wanted to blow it all up, right?
Well, it
I mean, what
seems
was his plan?
like all of his plans have leaned heavily into Ariel and how everybody wants it, or the fact that it's a Gundam.
Mhm. I do have to say, thinking about it, I'm not really sure what Shadiq's plans are right now. Like, what's his operational goal? So far, he's just kind of acting in the shadows and just kind of doing things.
Well, it's kind of a dual-handed thing, because he has a conversation with Sarius, about how the jewels are not going to make it, so they can take over Bennett, the Bennett group. Sorry, for some reason the word group escaped me. Because he has a conversation basically like, if I married Morion, and with our stake in the company and her shares, we would have controlling interest. Now, if she marries Suletta, Shinsei Development doesn't have enough shares in the company, along with Mjorn's shares, to take over. So there's no point in this whole dueling thing. But then later on, at the very end of the episode, he reveals, all I want to do is destroy the Bennett group. So, the things that he says to some people and the things that he says to other people don't jive together.
Oh, no, that puts it into perfect perspective. He wants to destroy the Bennett group. The attack on the Plankita was a assassination attempt. He has no idea about Quiet Zero.
I mean, it wasn't even really an assassination attempt because he basically says, I want you to kill Delling Rembrandt. And I think an assassination attempt has to be somewhat stealthy. They literally just came in shooting, guns ablazing.
No. I think any attempt for like a group to go in and like do a high profile killing qualifies as an assassination. It's not a quiet one, but it definitely is the assassination.
Well, I mean, it's a murder for hire. I think assassination has a different term.
Well, I mean, like as a political term, that's what I would call it.
I don't know. When you hire a bunch of mercenaries. Anyway,
we could be on the dictionary here for a while here. Let's just keep going.
Well, it's the kind of pedantic discussion that I'm all about, right?
Yeah.
Different words are built for different reasons, and if we don't use the correct one, what are we here for? Anyway, here, I'm gonna post this to you so that you can read it, and then I will say the next bit.
I gotta read Theta thoughts. Now they're Griffin
No,
thoughts.
actually, this is just a quote from Cradle Planet.
Alright. Their mother continues, saying that they will go to that school and Ariel will act as Suletta's sword in their scheme for revenge. Ariel begs and pleads to her mom to not involve Suletta, that Ariel and her can do it on their own, but she is not heard.
So, in episode 14, Prospera says that all her efforts are to make a world where Eri can be happy. Yet she tells Eri that she's a tool for revenge and actively ignores her plea to the contrary.
Right. We might have both daughters breaking off from their mother here collectively.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Every time I think about now Eri and Ariel, I think of Ein in Iron-Blooded Orphan.
Mm-hmm.
The very unsuccessful Ein. Alright, I got one last thought.
One more. Let's do
related to Venata's heart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Vilda will meet up with Noriette?
It makes sense.
Well, we know that Quiet Zero was Noriette's idea. Apparently, if you were to believe Prospera, which maybe not.
Like, Prospera seemed like a test pilot to begin with, right? Like, she didn't seem like a high-profile engineer or scientist researcher. She seemed like she was a tester of some kind. No idea what she actually knows. And then later on, she moves into business. I don't see her as, like, the researcher or primary engineer or inventor. I have no doubt, like, she knows her stuff, but I would put that role of designing and building something onto a different character, just so that, like, she doesn't, like, have everything, you know?
Well, no. My point wasn't that Prospera built this herself.
Yeah,
However,
no, and that's why I
I
was saying
would
it's like they gotta meet up at some
no,
point.
no. That's
A different character has to
I.
know these
I said
things.
Vilda, not Prospera.
Uh, yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's the role that I see Vilda having,
No,
and then we have Noria
we have no
later.
idea what Vilda knows or does know. I don't know why you would say Vilda knows that stuff. My point.
I'm sorry, I'm just starting to theory craft here.
I'll lead you down my own thought process because you're going on crazy angles.
Sure.
It's crazy angles to my thought process, not crazy angles to what might actually be.
Mhm.
Prospera spent most of her time around Earth in the years after the Venatus incident. So, she has the best chance of actually knowing where Quiet Zero started. So, if Quiet Zero did start from Noriet, as she said, but what I'm saying is, it's possible she's an unreliable narrator willing to just say things to get people to do stuff, in that
True.
she might just be trying to manipulate Miron into doing this thing for her, knowing her connection to her late mother via tomatoes. Well, she takes care of a tomato thing because her mother is constantly, oh my god, is there a chance that Suletta is a clone from Norietta?
I am the tomato. That's all I gotta say about that.
She wasn't. No, I'm saying if she made her own breed of tomato, right? Now, did she do that as a botanist or a geneticist?
I'm gonna say the geneticist link definitely is there, and I just got to keep bringing up Big O, the specially genetically designed tomatoes, as a metaphor for genetically designed humans, and you are the tomato, is in fact a highly strong correlative story link that I have a feeling is probably going to be there.
All I'm saying is
The tomatoes
tomato.
have a purpose.
Tomatoes are red. Suletta's a tomato. Think about it. Anyway,
Uh,
we don't know what's going on with Vilda, why she's on Earth, etc., etc., etc. It's entirely possible before Venatus Hearts is done that she meets up with Noret and they both combine to form this Quiet Zero project.
mhm. Yeah, I got a feeling we're gonna have like a lot of upcoming conflict about that very soon. The episode we're about to watch is called Father and Child. I can't imagine we're not gonna get some backstory here.
Well, I guess now we're into the part about thinking about what'll happen in this episode. And my one thought here is father and child. The obvious thing would be Shadik and Sarius, right? Because we just saw them last episode. Shadik says, thank you for adopting me. And he clearly is whisking away Sarius to somewhere for some reason. But
Mhm.
my hope for the episode would be Vim and Ghoul backstory thing. You know, side thought that I had when I thought about hoping that this was Vim and Ghoul backstory
Mhm.
thing. You remember how Vim just like slaps Ghoul around?
Oh yeah.
What if Laudna does this weird thing with his hair all the time? Because he's guarding himself against getting slapped.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so tragic. Theta, why'd you have to bring that up? No.
I mean, Laudna is also the adopted son, so it seems weird that you're like, I want that kid. Now let me beat the shit out of him. But weirder things happen in real life, so.
It's just how the Ghoul family shows love. But you're also missing the very obvious one of Mjorn and Delling, where they could talk about their backstory, or he could get better and they talk, or something like
Well,
that.
the obvious thing that you're clearly missing is that Mjorn is never once identified as a man. So,
It's father and child.
was it father and child? I thought it was father and son.
It's father and child.
I
That's what I'm
literally
looking at.
can't. I mean, you can say that as You can say that as smugly as you want. I once again can't look it up while I'm in the broadcasting chair. So
The episode is actually called Gumdrop Heaven. We're gonna go ahead and go to Candy World. Let's see what today.
actually,
Can't deny it.
that's actually more related to a future recording that we have going on, featuring an amusement park.
Oh boy. I'll get to that one next. But I think that's about all that we got right here. Let's just go ahead and watch. But before we go ahead and watch, everybody, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. Top of all that, if you want more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. So support channels just a little bit extra.
Hey, it's the scene from where we met Sophie.
Save your food, save the earth.
焼き切れちまってる。外れだな。こっちに戻すか。カートリッジだ。補充しておいた。助かる。鎮痛剤のストック頼めるか。ナジに伝えておく。
That's that guy.
Yeah, this is the same hallway, same school setting, 100%.
セド、シーシア。どうだ。
ダメだよオルコット。こいつ一口も食おうとしない。なんかブツブツつぶやいてんの。
Oh, they caught him.
Oh no.
最後に食べたのは。
3日前。
セド、よこせ。
That was a mechanical sound.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get a mechanical arm, like Prospera does.
グエルジェターク。お前は取引のモチーフだ。
Ghoul has zero luck, can't even die.
So that was another consideration I meant to bring up, but I forgot to. That where would Ghoul be?
Yeah.
And I would admit that I did not consider that these guys had captured him, because I just kind of assumed that either he would, that the authority that had come in, the Midicans, would have captured him, and it would be a choice of, is he arrested as Ghoul Jeturk for murder, or did he give a false name, Bob, whatever his cover identity, Bob whatever, Bob Jeturk.
Yeah, because last time we remember, of course, he was in a rebel machine and was killing his father.
Well, actually, he was in a Jeturk mobile suit.
Right, one of the Jeturk mobile suits they came in with.
Right, but it was still a Jeturk mobile suit. You remember that Vim was in a Jeturk mobile suit, as were the other people that flew out with him. So, the whole
But the whole reason his father was attacking was because he identified him as a rebel machine. So, he definitely didn't have very many choices after that.
Well, again, it wasn't about choice. It's just I thought that the authority that was coming in would have captured him, not the people who were actively running away.
撤収する？ノレアから連絡が来た。ベネリットグループが鍵つけたらしい。避難民はどうするんだ？俺は家族を置いていけない。受け入れ先を探す。隠れ家にさせてもらった恩は返すさ。グリスさんは輸送機を飛ばす手はずをつけてくれ。他のみんなは西の飛行場まで避難民と物資を運ぶ準備だ。了解。
あなたのせいでソフィーが死んだ。今度は
Yeah, this is coming.
危険にさらしてる。
Oh, so they didn't find her, so they took her too.
もたくさん。
Oh no, they're hiding with Shadika girls.
くだらない理想のせいで。
コーラ、落ち着きなよ。
おかしいよ。スペーシアンが憎いからって一方的に暴れて。
Because remember, they were going to arrest all of these people at the end of last episode.
No, they were arresting the Earth House.
No, they were looking for her and Noria. I mean, they're arresting Earth House too, but they're arresting all of these people.
Oh, you wanted more emotion out of her.
Ah, best girl of the Chidi group.
お前の自由もこちらが預かっていることを忘れるな。なせ裏切り者。そのクソったれなエゴで何十何百という同胞が治安活動の名目で殺されていきます。不幸をばらまいているのはどっちですか？
I mean, Martin is the one who turned them all in, though, so... That's a bit low riding there.
Here we go.
お前が狙っているのは総裁の雑貨。果たしたいことがあるんです。宇宙開発事業の莫大な費用を裏で支える戦争シェアリング。俺はね、父さん、これを壊したいんですよ。浅はかだな。戦争シェアリングの利権構造は不可侵だ。たやすく崩せば地球は代理戦争で疲弊。企業は限られたパイの奪い合い。利益も先細りの一途でしょう。もっといい方法があります。ベネリットグループの資産を
I just love how casual he is.
地球にいつ戦争が起きるかわからない。地球と企業の緊張関係を利用して抑止力という経済を生み出すんです。そうすれば地球で戦争を起こす必要。
You won't declare war on Earth if all of your shit is there.
お前はアーシアンとのハーフだったな。紛争エリアの地球に武力を与えてスペーシアンへの怨嗟を晴らしたいだけではないのか。恨みで腹は満たせませんよ。ですがスペーシアンだけが権益を持ち搾取する今のままでは力がなければ何も変わらない。だったら俺はその力を奪い取る。
Very interesting.
Sarius looks very tired of this shit already.
なんで俺たちドミニコスじゃなくてグループのセキュリティフォースが動くんです？学園の事件もう外にバレ始めてますよ。
役員決定だ。カテドラルに借りを作りたくないのだろう。
企業が独断で動いちゃっていいんですかね。
That seems foolish.
Well, foolishness is what causes
They
problems.
said the thing. This feels like a bad idea. Previously said, only my bad feelings hit the mark.
教えてもらいたいことがあるの。
私に？
クワイエットゼロって何？
頼むよベッシー。ポイントマンは任せてくれって。
ジャーリル、作戦聞いてたか？
ひよっこが経験ねえくせに。
プラントで活躍したろ。あんたこそ何ビビってんだよ。
俺はお前と違ってな。
フェリップ、気にしすぎんな。
悪い。家族のこと考えると。
Man, so many more people I gotta add to the conspiracy web.
荷物まとめなくていいの？
You might not have to add him for long.
I don't know, you gotta be pretty evil to open fire on the sick and children.
Oh, just you wait then.
あいつはガキどものヒーローだったからな。
And they brought all the stuffed animals for it. Oh, sweet, they got an NES there.
That was a Super Nintendo.
お前さんならわかるんじゃないのかい？忘れたよ。受け入れ先が見つかった。第一便はいつでも出せる。わかった。俺も行く。お前ら、さっさと車に乗れ。置いてくぞ。明朝5時に輸送機を飛ばす。こっちは頼んだ。俺たちモビルスーツ班はここに残る。いつ敵が来るかわからないからな。おとりか。みんな覚悟はしている。
Oh, their plan is entirely to sacrifice themselves.
Huh. So they're calling two people princes now. Which kind of tells us how they're using the title of prince.
Right, right. We have an aristocracy of people who run companies here.
Or no, I just mean that they were calling Shaddiq a prince before. So they're just calling any of the CEO children princes, and not like he is a bloodline on Earth or anything.
残りは2割ほどよ。あと3時間で積み終わると思う。
終わったら連絡をくれ。兵士たちと合流する。
あっちぇ。ったく夜だったのによ。
なぜここにいる？さっさとトラックに乗れ。だって。
Imagine that being the end of Ghoul's story.
Just
Knifed
stabbed
by
by
a
a kid in
kid.
the bathroom.
約束したのに。なんで父さんじゃなくてお前なんだよ。
で、父さんじゃなくて俺なんだ。俺が死んでいれば父さんは。
そうだ、お前が死んでれば私の父さんは。返してよ。父さんを返してよ。
こいつも連れてくの？
ああ、
なんで？もう意味ないじゃん。聞いたよ。こいつの会社もうすぐ潰れるんでしょ？
だとしてもだ。最悪盾として使う。
Oh man, the #1 company too.
教えてくれ。家族のことなんだ。中流部隊。
Just losing everything.
Well, I mean, Lana didn't dissuade any of the concerns, and then he might be dead too, so there's that. I guess bullets are perfectly okay on Earth.
Yeah, they'll eventually come back down.
Thank you, Griff, for that very basic course of physics.
You're welcome. For more basic Griffin facts, go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Oh,
there,
I think
there
Ghoul
goes
just
Ghoul.
tried to... No, do you see? I think Ghoul just tried to protect those kids. He did this motion over them as the group was collapsing.
It happened real fast. I'll totally believe it. Oh, everyone's got tragedy.
Jesus.
Yeah. The show is just increasing the trauma.
Alright, Ghoul, you didn't do a good job. Unless he pushed her.
お前一人で移送に合流しろ。
でも
諦めろ。行け。潰れたか。
He lives.
I hate that, like, Any mention of dad is now Ghoul's trigger word. He's now like Super Shredder, like pushing his way up from underneath the dock. Daddy, why'd you say that name?
Gosh, I was expecting that to explode. Ooh, there we go. They got some fight back. Also, I just realized that is a railgun technical. I'm so happy. A hero!
Yeah, I may have been wrong about the whole covering them during the collapse, but, you know, makes up for it now. I know what I don't want. More death.
Oh, he's not gonna get anywhere near that goal. Heroic sacrifice. Little too close for those missiles.
No, not mustache guy. Oh, is it Ghoul's chance to get back in a mobile suit?
Well, he didn't want to see more people die, and well, he did not get that.
Oh, so it's an alias, okay.
だが最後は自分がアーシアンに襲われる羽目になった家族も巻き添えで失ったんだったかな捨てただろう
Olcott's gotta live through all this.
ないんだよそんなものは
Yeah, he's not interested in fighting, he's interested in saving the kid.
Oh yeah. Question is, will he get shot down?
Bishka. ダメだ死んじまった
そうか。お前はどうする？合流は少し待ってくれ。考える時間が欲しくなった。
Ah, it's so damn depressing.
I know.
聞こえたから助けて欲しかったんじゃないかって。待ってろ。今
Yeah, and you left her behind, too, so it's gotta hit double hard for old Cod here.
俺はどうすれば。俺はお前の親じゃない。どうしたらいいかなんて自分で考えるんだな。教えてくれないか。軌道エレベーターまでの生き方。何？これ以上なくしたくないんだ。俺と父さんをつなぐもの。
Gotta go retake the company.
He's back, baby.
Prodigal son returns, and they don't know I killed my dad, so it's not illegal. Imagine trying to explain that. No, I have no idea how my dad died. Now, let's get this company back in order.
Yeah.
By the way, watch this right here. Stop spinning up, Griff, look. This right here.
All right. Let's take a look.
Right now. What the hell does that mean?
It means Suletta going Super Suletta.
No, I mean that Ariel punching Suletta in the chest.
Exploding and then getting permit power. Yeah.
Suletta doesn't have permit power.
Yeah, I think as we've discussed before, so far as it seems, Suletta's never actually activated into the gun format stuff. I think maybe it's the hint that she will?
Elon 4 confirmed already that she doesn't have that.
Maybe she will. It'll be a change. We'll see.
You know, I've watched the ending thing over and over again.
Back to tea time.
植生エンジニアでもあられたノートレット様は
There it was, botanical.
生存戦略を人類にも適用できないかと考えておられました。無双的で根拠のない、しかしあの方らしいお考えだ。その提唱に賛同した一人がデリング・レンブラン。あなたのお父上です。
Didn't save it all. Damn it.
ずっとクソ親父の政略結婚だと思ってた。
軍人であられた頃はそんな余裕もありませんでしたよ。それほどまでに戦場は無秩序でした。人々は意志を放棄し、兵器に決定権を委ねる。パーツとして消
That
費
is
され
some
る
good
兵士。
tea.
私も多くの同志を失いました。
ガンダム狩りはそれが理由？
人間性の回帰を総裁は強硬手段をもってしても強く求められました。それでも戦争シェアリングで紛争をコントロールしても秩序を手に入れることは叶わなかった。だからこそノートレット様の草案は総裁にとって希望でした。事故で失われるまでは。
悲しいならそう言えばいいのに。
敵や造反は後を絶ちませんでしたから。
ようやく分かってきたわ。クソ親父が花嫁ゲームを仕組んだ理由。力のある人間に嫁がせれば一番。
I mean, it mirrors his own life experiences, kind of.
クワイエットゼロのカ
Little
モフ
bit.
ラージュも含めてね。
総裁は自ら葬ったガンダムを利用してでもノートレット様との誓いを果たすおつもりです。ですがミオリネ様、あなたはあなただ。お父上ではありません。どうかご自身のお心で。
次回機動戦士ガンダム水星の魔女在下の輪。
I do appreciate that they literally all love that. I do
Yeah, it's a
appreciate
boring-
that they literally covered our unknowing discussion from before botanist or geneticist.
You just gotta love it when they just read our minds here. Oh gosh, Prospera introducing cycles of sin. I can only imagine how things are going to get worse next episode. I was entirely expecting a sort of quiet, retrospective kind of episode, lots of talking and feelings. Instead, no, we got like 90% action and trauma. It was good.
Oh no, I would say like 25% emotion, 75% action.
Yeah, no, that's probably a fair estimate
How many
right
times
there.
did we flash back to Olcott's past, then have somebody else describe what his past actually was, then have the mirror of that with somebody else calling out for the daddy, specifically a girl that Olcott said, no, we have to leave her behind, there's no chance, that then Ghoul wasted his time on.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, it's Olcott, the guy with the dead family. Olcott's dead son family. Yeah, no, Olcott, that one, the one with the dead son. Yeah, no.
Well, I
That
mean, that
Olcott.
specifically Ghoul becomes a mirror of Olcott in the present.
I definitely love the way the show continually does that with characters here, where we get two characters highly similar, slightly different positions, and each character uses that to inform each other about what they should do next.
I think it also shows now that Ghoul probably has an ally on the other side, despite everything that they've been through. I think Olcott holds him now in a some sort of respect that he previously didn't have.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree on that. I don't think they have any sort of communication, but it definitely might open up a door later on, I think.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of communication. I think it's a matter of
Yeah.
this is an organization that will probably have something happen that they will, be face to face at some point in the future.
Right, right. But I think as we've discussed before, like, Olcott's involved with Shadiq's group, right?
Well, I mean, Olcott's involved with the Dawn of Fold, which Shadiq has some sort of ability to leverage. That's what I was saying. That's why I was making such a big deal during the episode about the definition of the word prince. Because the Dawn of Fold leader kept calling him a prince, and they kept listening to him when he said stuff. So it's like, is there some sort of dual meaning here? Like, we know that Shadiq was adopted from Earth. So does that mean that he has some sort of lineage that they're following for some reason? But now they're calling Ghoul the Little Prince, which I don't know why they're calling him the Little Prince. Because I don't know what that additive means anything, but
They're just looking down on him, that's all.
Well, I mean, it's little meaning more less important than. But, I mean, maybe if they're going by economics, because the Jet Turk Heavy Machinery used to be the #1 corporation, and now they're facing bankruptcy, which would mean Shadiq's, Grassley House, or Grassley... God, I can't remember what their specific... Grassley Corporation, whatever they are, is now higher up. God, what is his number? What's Shadiq's number in the school?
His number? Oh, I got no idea on that one.
Remember, his number is based on the economic status of the corporation that is pushing him in.
Yeah.
So, his number, I think it was 2. So, if 1 has fallen, then Shadiq is technically pushed to 1, even though his number wouldn't change. Which then means that he would be the prince, and that would suggest then why they would call Ghoul the Little Prince, unless there is a secondary... I feel like sometimes watching this show is like watching epic rap battles of history, right? You watch it, you're like, oh, that's clever, that has 2 meanings to it. And then you watch like a historian or something watch or react to epic rap battles history, and they'll say like, the line has 5 different meanings. You're like, God damn, these people are brilliant. Because the thing is, you don't understand doesn't mean that the writers didn't then understand it in a more complete fashion.
Oh, yeah. I think one of the things I want to keep a finger on is, of course, the talk between Sarius and our prince here.
Shadiq.
Yeah, Shadiq. Where Shadiq finally revealed what he really wanted, and it kind of like got smothered a little bit by the back half of the episode and all of the trauma a little bit.
I would like a better explanation of war petitioning.
Yeah, same here. It seems like there's a lot going on. There's still refugees here that these people have to protect despite whatever's happening on Earth. So Earth seems like it's some sort of ongoing war zone here.
Well, yeah, we saw
is
that
what
in
I'm
episode. Well, we saw that in the prequel. I remember I sent you that screenshot. God, I don't remember when I sent it to you. I think we also brought it up during episode 12 pre-discussion of the guy doing a news report saying what Spacian concerns were, and then the opposite side was Earthian concerns, and how wildly different they were. But also in the same episode, you had the signs of people protesting, and then you had the Dominicus units coming out, fucking mobile suits. The thing that we keep joking about that they wouldn't do in Gundam 00.
Yeah.
That, oh no, those people are protesting. Protesting is a form of violence. Send out the mobile suits!
Well, as we discussed, the Shocker hooligans would clearly win, but...
But, you know, basically, we know...
There's a lot going on. The corporations are clearly profiting from the continual war zone that is Earth, and people are not happy with that, and it seems like we have Shadiq, who is on that side of going, like, no, I'm gonna put a stop to all this.
Well, again, my understanding of the plan was that we're gonna break up the Benera group and put all of its value back on Earth, so that you're disincentivized to profit from the wars on Earth, because your shit will be there. It'd be like saying, hey, Lego Corporation, we're going to move your headquarters to the Middle East. Maybe now you'll have a bit more weigh-in on what the military industrial complex is doing.
Ah, Lego, famous war profiteer.
Well, I'm using them as an example because famously they moved their headquarters
I would probably go with like Lockheed Martin.
No, I'm using them as an example specifically because they moved their headquarters to Mexico sometime back to get away from, you know, worker treatment and taxes. So they're not a great corporation. So I feel like throwing them into the Middle East is perfectly well served. Hey, Lego, how are you gonna deal with the Al Qaeda?
So the one parent-child relationship we did not get here was Suletta and Prospera.
Well, I
think we've gotten plenty of that so far.
This is so far the only episode. Well, I guess this is actually so far the second episode not to feature Suletta at all. You know what the first one was, right?
We covered like the rest of the cast here. We got Mjorn, we got Ghoul, we got Shadiq. Each of them had something to do with their parents here.
Just answer for me before you move on, Griff.
Sure.
I said, what was the first one?
First one, what? Where there was no Suletta?
Yeah.
The prologue.
There we go.
Sorry, I was also being cheeky. But yeah, all the rest of the cast has now had the interaction with their motivations, what they're dealing with their father. Funnily enough, Sarius is still the best father so far.
Well, just to go back a half a second, Elon, we don't know his motivations.
But he doesn't have a dad.
We don't know that. Technically, he has four moms.
Be a tomato.
He has four moms, if you think about it. But,
oh, God, you're right.
But, I mean, we know what he's working towards, but that's not his motivation. That is his goal. We know that he wants the aerial. We don't know why or what he's working towards. Like, it seems like every corporation is working towards a specific goal. But, I mean, Jet Turk Heavy Machinery, not so much at the moment. Hopefully we'll pick up again later. You know, Shinsei is working towards Quiet Zero. Grassley House is working now towards Shadiq's goal of defeating the war petitioning by reinvesting in Earth. Literally, we really need to know. If you comments below, if you understand what war petitioning was and why, just describe it. Let us know what war petitioning was.
They're gonna get into it. This is the season where I think they're finally addressing all of the Earth stuff. We got a full-on battle on Earth. They're gonna come back to it and actually tell us, like, what is the scenario on Earth.
But yeah, also Peel, we don't know what they're about because that's again Elon.
Uh-huh.
And last episode actually we were introduced to a bunch of new corporations because just about every one of those mobile suits that we saw in the big fight was a completely different company that we know nothing about.
You're right. We'll have to see who's responsible for that. Because they did even have the discussion of like, why isn't Dominicus being a part of this? Well, we don't want to involve Cathedra or anything. We don't want to owe him anything.
No, I think you're conflating two different things.
Yeah,
Dominicus is the front special defense group. So when they said why isn't Dominicus involved in this, they meant why isn't Dominicus stopping the murders from happening? That's happening right now. That's because
and instead we got a bunch of random companies in their mobile suits dealing with it.
No. Once again, you're conflating the what was not round robin, the big battle thing that was supposed to happen.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, you're conflating the battle royale with Sophie and Noria showing up with their terrorist weapons. That when they showed up, what's her name? I forgot her name already. Thick sassy girl, who was in control of the dueling community, said, all right, battle royale is over. Everybody run for your lives. And that's when they question why Dominicus isn't showing up, because they are the front defense forces that should be putting a stop to Sophie and Noria.
All right, let me go ahead and reference. There was the scene where we have the guy at the desk. He's talking to his desk tablet, and he's saying, wait a second, why isn't Cathedra dealing with this stuff on Earth? Oh, it's because they don't want to owe something. And that's why we see the different mobile suits here on Earth, because specifically the forces that should be dealing with it aren't.
Oh, okay. You're referring to stuff in this episode.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to refer to.
Okay, well, I was referring to the Battle Royale that happened last episode when I said a bunch of different companies were represented in that. So your jump to a different topic was hard to parse.
There you go. So let's see. So what else you got on your mind, Theta? You got any last words here?
Okay, let's go back over. Let's see. What did the episode technically start on?
It technically started on Sarius and Sadiq.
No, wasn't there something before that?
Oh, it started on Noria kicking Nikki.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then we had Shadiq's group. I don't know how else to describe them. Of girls who are, as Norius described them, traitors. Because technically they're Spacians that are heavily assisting the Earthian terrorists.
Right. She's not happy with the whole scenario. It definitely indicates the not exactly secure control that Shadiq has over like Donnafold or anything.
Well, I mean, even when the best girl in Shadiq's harem, I guess we'll just call him a harem. We don't know what's going on.
No, calling the harem is correct here.
When she says, hey, calm down. The only way you're even surviving right now is the fact that we don't turn you in. And she's like, traitors. And it just moves on. And it's like, yeah, I mean, basically true. One, you're working against your own cause as far as you know. And two, yeah, Noria, what the fuck are you doing? I don't even really understand how Noria escaped. Because you remember at the very end of the episode, a bunch of Dominicus front forces came in and said, stand down, surrender immediately. And
I think she just left with the rest of the Shadiq's crew, and like by incidents they go like, hey, we're working together, why don't you come with us?
Shadiq's crew wasn't on scene.
They did the whole stealing the President Sarius thing.
Right.
They were in those mobile suits.
No, they were inside.
They were in the room shooting his guards.
Do you understand what the word on scene means?
Well, it
There's
seems like
two
there's a whole
different-
scene and they're there.
No. The scene where Sarius is being abducted is happening inside of the school, right? The scene where Noria is chastising Suletta about not having to fight the Gundam curse and how Sophie is dead is happening in space. The Dominicus forces are coming from space, right? These are two scenes happening distinctly separate from one another. So Noria would have to drag Sophie's Gundam away to somewhere while evading the Dominicus front forces.
So she probably got a message from Shadiq's group and hung out with them because they've technically been allied so far.
Again, you're going smug mode like you're somehow right.
I'm saying, like, it's not like it doesn't make a lot of sense. She could just hang out with her allies.
I mean, it's literally...
They had to escape somewhere, too. Are they just hiding in the school?
Okay, imagine two cop cars pull up, two cops get out, pull guns on you and say, "Surrender now!" And you are standing over the dead body, and you're just grabbing the body and just slowly moving back. And my point is, how did she escape from this? And your answer just constantly is, Shadiq. It's like, okay, the physical
the answer
situation...
Is the next line of the script says, and she escapes, and there's no further elaboration. It's like, does there really need to be?
Well, yes, because that's the kind of show that we're in. We love the show because of how deep it goes in on everything. So, these kind of holes shouldn't exist.
Fair enough, fair enough. But I think I've definitely covered everything I wanted to, and I think that's the last thing you got on your list here, right? Final chance? What you got?
Sorry, I'm just considering. I guess other than, what's his name? The one that killed Suletta's dad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, his whole double entendre there. The only thing that hit are my bad feelings. And then his sudden, "I've got a bad feeling about this."
Oh yeah, no, it's he's Force Awakened, really.
I mean, we really just don't know what he's about because it seems like he's trying to be a good guy here. At the same time, we also know he's literally the man who killed... Sorry, correction. He's literally the man who killed Ares' father, not Suletta's father. Maybe, we don't know.
And is in charge of that whole cathedral organization. He's running their special ops.
Well, we know...
He's gotta have an opinion here.
We know he's in charge of one ship. Remember, they referred to him in episode 11 as the captain.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who's in charge of Cathedra as an organization. That might technically fall upon Delling Rembrandt himself.
Right, we just gotta find out that.
Well, because you remember there's an episode where Sarius is saying, goes into like this courtroom sort of thing, and he's trying to get Ariel like locked down or something. And he's like, "Why is Delling making so many exceptions for this Gundam?" And he's like, "Well, we could tell you, but it wouldn't change anything." And that was the guy who Mjorn... That was the guy who Mjorn was talking to at the end of this episode.
Roll the tape back. Roll the tape back. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense given the information we're getting in Season 2 where Delling is interacting with Prospera and is using the Gundams for the Quiet Zero stuff. And it's just like, why is Delling making so many exceptions? Like, because it's an inside job. What do you think it is? We figured it out. All the Season 1 plot holes were just like, why is Delling, the person who destroyed them, letting all this happen? It's like, we know now.
I mean, I guess I always just thought that was obvious, but at the same time, we've never said anything about it. So, I guess in our pursuit to not leave no rock unturned, I guess we should have said it at some point. The thing was said at the beginning of Season 2, that if Prospera says the best scenario to train and test Ariel was in a school where she would not fight actual things and be destroyed, and that Delling, obviously working on Quiet Zero, would need Ariel to have that testing done, that all of these things obviously come together as to why. Well, no, then the question remains, why would he even question the Gundam to begin with?
He's putting on a show.
You know, in episode 2, where Mjorn goes to the to the meeting room and says, well, why is it a Gundam? Because I said so, that's why. It seems very... Yeah, I know, but it seems very risky for an opera, right? Like, if I'm putting on this display so that I make everyone aware that I'm very disapproving of the fact that it's a Gundam, so that nobody will question why I'm letting it get away with being a Gundam. Yeah, he wouldn't have known that Vim was, like, being blackmailed. Well, I guess he would... God, he would know! Because Prospera was the one blackmailing him. So, he would go into the room with Vim. I'm sorry, she would go into the room with Vim, blackmail him, and since they're working together, she would let him know, hey, I'm blackmailing Vim, so at some point, he's probably going to speak up about the whole Gundam thing. Well, wait, then again...
And then Vim, like, what if I just exploded Delling? That would solve all my problems, right?
Yeah, Vim is already on his own track, and that didn't work out twice. But no, then he still doesn't give in to Vim, though. He has to wait for his daughter to come in and do this whole, oh, you're not going to follow your own rules thing about dueling Ariel against... Was it Ghoul? It was Ghoul again.
Yeah, it was Ghoul.
And she would not have known. He wouldn't have known that Mjorn was heading towards him. Because if you remember from the conversation just earlier that episode, he thought she was heading to Earth. That's where this whole Master Xanatos Gambit thing falls apart. Because it was Mjorn that made it work. And
the part where it all falls apart is where the father who's decided that he just does not give a shit anymore about his daughter suddenly sees his daughter interacting with the stuff he cares about and goes, oh shit, I care again.
Well, no, again, it's more that...
The family drama interrupted the conspiracy.
Well, it's again that he did not give in to Vim's blackmail attempt to make the Ariel thing work. Where you would have thought that's where it should have happened, if with Prosper in the loop. It took Mjorn showing up and challenging him in front of a room full of people. But that shouldn't have been, because he thought Mjorn was going to Earth. So what was the plan there? Because it's like he went too far, right? He's like, shit, I've just said I need to destroy this damn thing. And I need this thing to exist for my plan to work. I've gone too far.
And here, vouching on their behalf is the perfect excuse to keep the plan going now.
Right, but again, he didn't know she would be there. He would have needed somebody else to step up and be whatever Mjorn was in that moment.
My favorite thing, of course, is when things go wrong, is to always kind of go, is it possible the character actually made a mistake at some point?
That's what I just said. He went too far. He was like, in the moment, and Vim spoke up, and he's like, shut the fuck up. Oh shit, I needed that guy. And then it was like, what was the plan then? Mjorn wasn't supposed to be here. Mjorn was supposed to be landing on Earth right now.
What if that was all the plan still? It was specifically to put as much visible distance in public between him and his co-conspirators, putting himself against them all in public in front of every other person in the Benner group so that no one suspects anything's happening.
The only
because
way...
as soon as Prospera's done, she like winks at Jeter afterwards. Like, yeah, no, this is going great, everyone.
Yeah, because he's blackmailing. Vim has no fucking idea what's going on. He's like, Prospera
together in that one scene.
No, Prospera and Delling are playing like 4D chess, and Vim is playing regular chess. That's why he has no idea what's going on to that. Now, what I want to say is, the only way for this actually to work, and this might actually play out for Season 2, is if that large lady and her companion, the one that we're supposed to be smuggling them around and is now piloting her personal spaceship, are actually in her dad's pocket. And that
it was all a part of the plan. No.
Right. The only reason that they came back to try and make her escape again was because she she failed the first time, and her dad's like, no, I need her in this one place at this one time. You fucking go back and get her, which is why she's surprised to see them again. What is this, like a courtesy call or something? I wasn't there when you were supposed to pick me up. Why are you still here? So she recognizes, this is weird. You shouldn't have come back. And clearly the only thing that would have happened is her dad was like, I know I need her on that ship. You fucking go back and you bring her here. Find out a reason to fucking get her here. What if the first two episodes of drama, the first two episodes, were actually those two people behind the scene trying to come up with a reason why Mjorn would want to go to the Benerit front?
Oh my gosh.
I got the web back, Griff. The webkin's happening again.
Okay, well, we're going deep into the conspiracy. We need to go back and rewatch all these episodes. In the light of Delling is the control conspiracy from the beginning, working with Prospera, manipulating Jetjerk, and just see what we get.
Delling is Suletta's dad.
We gotta
Delling
go
is
back.
control of these two pilots.
We gotta go to the board here, everyone. We're evacuating. This has been Stone-Face Reactions. I'm Griffin. That's Theta, and we're going to figure this out. See ya. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Face Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?